Again, thanks Greg and Ken for your information. I want to thank the entire WGSD staff for a great opening to school. That goes up to the administrators and teachers. It's been very impressive getting around to all 4 buildings the first couple of weeks and seeing a lot of impressive things already. Usually early in the year, you expect that transition adjustment to take place, but teachers are really working hard, and it's just a real compliment to the dedication of the staff. Special thanks to Lisa Kastengren and Jim DeBoski. They coordinated a very, very large cross-country meet here last week of many school districts, and the turnout was great, not just from the number of school districts that attended, but the number of parents, and just a very well-organized piece. And while Jim and Lisa coordinated that whole thing, there were a lot of other Fox River staff members that worked at concessions or at the finish line, those types of things, so that real positive collaborative effort there with the Fox River staff. And a number of staff help out with the August in-service presentations. That'd be Mary and Denise from the district office. And then we have Kevin Wild from Fox River, Kim Buttle, she's the district social worker, Sarah Shepke from the tech department, Jill Shealy, our nurse, Minnie Creighton from Woodfield, Jane Egger from Trailside, and then Joel Buffert from Evergreen. Again, they helped with some breakout sessions during the in-service time at the end of August, and again, did a very, very nice job. A couple of other things. This morning I attended a legislative breakfast for area municipalities with a couple of state representatives. Speaker Boss was there, Representative Kirkman, and then Senator John Lehman were in attendance this morning. A couple of legislative pieces that are coming up. First, there's a fairly significant bill addressing mental health in the state. It's in the making right now, and they expect to have action on that by November. And the second piece of legislation that they spent a lot of time elaborating on was to address some rural school concerns. Schools that are very minimal enrollment, very limited access to the internet, struggling a little bit financially. They're looking for ways to forge partnerships, increase internet access, those types of things. The other piece Dan had asked last month about the Affordable Care Act. Any updates there? There was an update last week, and basically that pertained to an IRS ruling, and that ruling affects us because we're going to need to look at our HRA program because it might actually be part of benefits related to insurance. So what I've done is I've forwarded our HRA agreement that we have in place to one of the attorneys on our legal counsel team that deals specifically with fringe benefit packages of employees to make sure that we're in compliance. So this ruling from the IRS caught a few people, I would say, a little bit surprised that it was as strict as what it was. Next, there's a couple of curriculum updates, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Kathy Hoppy.
I'd also like to say that the beginning of the year, especially my first year here, was a real positive, being in the schools and seeing all of the things that happened without a hitch at all. So that was exciting. I just want to give you a few updates. I could talk for quite a long time about many of the things that are going on. First of all, the preschool, I'm sure you're interested in that. Preschool Title I is going to be in Evergreen, room number 6, and we have interviews on Wednesday. Child Find is coming up on October 9th, so we're hoping to message out at that time with posters and information to the media about the Title I preschool, and then setting up some testing dates for later on in October, 2 different dates. Hopefully, we're looking at the 23rd and the 29th, and maybe some in the evening so that parents can bring their little 4-year-olds in. So we're working on setting up the room, and Denise and Ken are doing a nice job with that with me, and connecting, trying to figure out how we're going to make some connections with the early childhood program and then also the kindergarten program so that the children will have some like peers and role models. And another thing that we're working on is the advisory team, which at this time has a few people on, and we're beginning to expand that, and then eventually we'll need to have some parents who have children in the preschool on that, and that's one of the conditions under the grant that we're working. With regard to the school report cards, I was pleased that all of the schools in the district and the district itself exceeds expectations. I'm sure you were pleased with that. Looking at the report cards, we can go into that more at the curriculum meeting in the future, the committee meeting. Woodfield and Evergreen increased in their score, and Fox River stayed about the same with a little bit of a decline at Trailside. But overall, similar pattern, but we need to continue to look at I'm working with principals on that, looking at the strong math that's going on, and then continuing, as most districts in the state, working on the reading, which is the area that is more of a need for most schools and school districts, particularly in the area of working on that informational text and vocabulary areas, looking at the map, and then looking at the district and school report cards is something that the principals have been doing with me, and will continue to do that, looking at the new WISE Desk program that's been implemented in the state. Then also we've implemented the PALS, which was in kindergarten beforehand, now is in first grade, so the PALS is just closing its window, or has closed its window for first grade, and then kindergarten will be shortly. We're going to take some time as kindergarten teachers and as first grade teachers to really look at that data and how can we use it and what does it say, and there's actually some nice things at the state level to help teachers and provide just different materials for them. So we're going to look and study that together. And then I offered a phonics instruction training just to see the interest, and there were 23 teachers and one principal who attended that. So that was just an after school on their own kind of thing, and I was really excited to see so many people interested, and several of the people asked if we're going to have follow-up on that. So that was nice. I think with the report cards and all the things going on, we have a good start on the RTI process in the district, and I think some of the fine-tuning will be in streamlining some of the testing, so we can spend more, a little bit more time using the testing information, and then rolling out what are those instructional strategies that are really going to make a difference and try to decrease the gap, especially for the ELL population and special ed. So those are just a few things. I'm hoping to put out a newsletter to the district staff so I can keep them informed, and then of course you will get a copy of that.
And then the last part of my report obviously is just the notification of first reading and the revision of policy 112.
Everybody's had an opportunity to see it. Does anybody have any comments? Okay, we will consider this first reading concluded.
Okay, just questions. Phonics training, glad to hear that, by the way. All would be happy to hear that.
All would be very happy.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and you missed them.
And any additional training is great too. Being strong phonics obviously leads to better reading all the way around. So that's good to hear. One thing I have in cross country, almost great to hear everybody coming in. I think at the end of the night there was a huge traffic jam down there. We have so many buses going around. We have Waterford Village Police and or the Sheriff Department aware of the fact that we're going to need some traffic control.
You want to handle that?
The reason for the backup was there was a car in our front exitway that broke down.
Oh, even better.
So we called just to confirm what was going to happen with that we could keep that car there, which caused the backup. Yes, we are going to have next year, Mrs. Cassinger and myself have a note on paper, not mental, a written note that to communicate with the local department to come up and assist us with that, correct?
Okay, great.
I think another thing that Mrs. Cassinger wrote down is that we are going now, it's difficult, but highly encourage people to use the high school parking lot, even though it's a cross-country meet and you should be able, but people don't like to walk that distance. But we have those two things written down on a piece of paper to help with that, yes. Surprisingly though, not surprisingly, but the parents did an excellent job of where they parked and being respectful and exiting out. But you're correct, we had 700 students there, and then you bring all of their families. It was just That was outstanding, it's just like, it's just a cool thing to have, but you're correct.
The most inopportune time for a car break.
Exactly. So, but that's what took place.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kathy, I too wanted to ask about phonics. Are plans being set to do any curriculum adjustment on phonics, or is it too soon?
We're in a reflection year, a revision and looking at, we're going to spend some time with grade levels so that they can look at what the curriculum is below and above, as well as go back and just take another look at the Common Core to see if we have all those pieces in. So the piece that I did for the phonics training was actually something right from the Common Core. So it's just constantly looking at that. We have some strong pieces in the curriculum for phonics, but, it's always good to go back and reflect and look at that.
I just wanted to take a minute to thank the teachers and the staff for putting in all that they do so our district can continue to be a district that exceeds expectations in our schools. I think that's something that people look at when they look at districts to move to, and I just really appreciate all that they do.
It's real congrats to be exceeding expectations all the way around. Congratulations.
Thank you.